Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Honourable Speaker, Honourable Prime Minister, Honourable Leader of Opposition, Honourable Ministers and Honourable Members of Parliament, and all those watching from the comfort of their home, good evening to you all. Honourable Speaker, I rise in these chambers in full support of the 2022-2023 national budget as delivered by Honourable Minister for Economy and thank him for giving such a wonderful Bula-boom budget. Honourable Speaker, at the outset, I would like to actually say, for the first time, I would like to actually differ from Honourable Fijian. He at least said that Honourable Biman Prasad is going to give $1 worth of contribution. I would say his contribution was not even worth 20 cents. Honourable Speaker, while listening to the Shadow Minister for Economy, why I am referring Honourable Ratu Nengama Lalambalawu as Shadow Minister is because I'm not sure, or rather confused, whether he spoke as the leader of opposition or he was speaking as a future candidate of People Alliance. I'm also 100% sure that even some opposition members are confused with regards to this as well. He should have been quoting Honourable Gavoka, but instead he was quoting Rambuka. Seriously, we don't know what's happening on the other side. But on the other hand, what I heard from Honourable Gavoka this afternoon on the tax reform that he's going to introduce to help Itoke was just mind-boggling. What I would ask him, is he going to tax one Itoke to help another Itoke? Or, since he has openly said that the tax reform is going to benefit one ethnic group, he is going to tax all other ethnic groups apart from Itoke group to help Itoke community. Listening to such tax reform, I do understand why party members are running from Sodelpa to other parties and why Leader of Opposition didn't quote him. I do understand the honourable members from opposition no longer say Amen Jesus during morning prayer. With the fading of that, I believe the opposition has also forgotten that Christianity preaches that we are all human beings and everyone is child of God. But look at the dividing tactic used by opposition. In the lust of power, you, the honourable members, are forgetting the moral preachings of your own religion. What a shame. On that same note, I urge someone from opposition to give a peace of mind to Honourable Bula Nauda. He has totally lost his mind and doesn't realize what it means to be called honourable. The way he spoke this morning only shows he has lost not only what's on top of his skull, but also what's inside that skull. While also talking about Christianity values, it would be very interesting to hear what Honourable Lenora has to say in Parliament this evening. Honourable Speaker, Honourable Lenora during one of her campaign meetings brought up Honourable Prime Minister's father's name when she uttered referring to him, this is not his father's money, but this is our money. Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Prime Minister's dad passed on some years ago, and it is insulting to bring his name into her campaign speech. Ratu Inoke, until he died, worked extremely hard for the nation, and it is great insult to his family and his relatives. Honourable Speaker, Honourable Lenora is known to be a child caser and has cased all our children, and now she is moving to case our parents. She owes the Honourable PM and his family and his relative an apology, and we would like to hear it this evening. Coming back to Sodelpa, Honourable Speaker, a party that cannot manage the grant given to their caucus, a party that only relies on the grant by the Parliament to run their caucus and external party affairs, a party that cannot pay their office staff, a party that cannot raise funds to run their party. The members of that same party are talking about increasing the government revenue. Isn't this really funny? How can you increase government revenue while your own party revenue is zero and in financial crisis? I urge opposition members. Order. I really urge opposition members to learn from a very experienced business lady, Honourable Mere Naulu Matua, sitting on the opposition side and gain some financial knowledge so that at least maybe then Sodelpa will be out of the financial crisis. The party has used the funds without any accountability to its MPs, and here they are talking about accountability to Fijians and trying to criticize the spending of the government. If you, the honourable members, can't manage such a small grant, how will you manage Fiji's economy?
We will.
Honourable Kunindrani,
Order.
first get your party to pay the few staff working in your chambers, then talk about giving $120 to 12,000 cane farmers. Your party can't pay 3 or 4 workers. How will you pay 12,000 cane farmers? And where will you get that money from? Please inform the staff in your chambers to apply for government assistance if they have kids, because they would be having hard time as Sodelpa hasn't paid them for past few weeks. Don't worry. Under the decisive leadership, we leave no one behind. We assist everyone, and we don't discriminate. Honourable Speaker, the so-called economist aiding and abetting Honourable Prasad went a step further to compare Fiji's economy to what is happening in Sri Lanka. Honourable Speaker, Sri Lanka ran out of foreign reserves. Corruption was at level high. Fiji is in a very stable position, having foreign reserves to import for more than 8 months, Honourable Speaker. While economists were criticizing government for borrowing money during COVID-19 pandemic, Fijian government acted smartly and borrowed offshores in order to increase the foreign reserve. Borrowing offshores brings the foreign currency into the country, thus increasing the foreign reserve. Sri Lanka was not in a position to service their debt. Fiji, on the other hand, has not defaulted a single repayment during pandemic, Honourable Speaker. How can we compare Sri Lanka to Fiji, Honourable Speaker? Say with sugar guaranteed price, let's talk about it if the farmers, they don't get $85 per ton as promised by FijiFirst government. Say. Mr. Speaker, say, we have noted that most of the concerns raised by the Fijians are associated with the negative impacts of COVID-19 pandemic and the global inflationary pressure. In response, the government developed and implemented appropriate economic policies and rolled out the targeted programs that will cushion the impact on ordinary Fijians and businesses from the adverse effect of these impasses. Building on the recent progress, this budget has actually outlined policies that are geared towards retaining the economy back to the more sustainable growth path and improved livelihoods. Overall, the budget contains a series of direct measures for the people, with some policy measures targeted to promote specific industries. As highlighted in the budget presentation by Honourable Minister for Economy, hundreds of micro, small and medium enterprises are now open and thriving throughout the country, creating jobs and contributing towards Fiji's GDP every single day. This is clear indication of what government's prudent policies and support towards strengthening the resilience of both formal and informal sector, Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker, conscious of the constrained financial space, this budget intends to implement the policy measures within suitable, sustainable physical framework. Indeed, our spending level targets have been well moderated and ensured cautious revenue projection. The budget has reprioritized public spending towards pro-vulnerable expenditures in health and education. Mr. Speaker, the degree of inflationary pressure experienced by the global economies has to some extent depended on the different starting points and experience heading into the pandemic. To a significant extent, the recent increase in Fiji's consumer prices has been driven by global disruption and have caused sharp price increases for critical commodities, including broad range of imported goods. Mr. Speaker, given the widespread inflationary context, we anticipated some general cost of living strategies, and this budget sought to address those concerns with direct support to households through price control and social assistance. It is unfortunate that some of the political opponents have mocked it as an election budget containing freebies for struggling families. That shows the lack of concern they have for the people of our nation. As the rightfully said this morning by Honourable Prime Minister, assisting Fijian is not freebies. Investing in children's education is not just investing in their future, it is also investing for the development of the nation. A smart and educated society is the key foundation for any developed nation, and Fiji is no different. Mr. Speaker says the physical policy supporting budget for the financial year 2022 and 2023 and the medium term is designed to accelerate economic recovery and improve livelihoods for Fijians. A total of 60 million set aside under the inflation mitigation package will help cope with the rising prices. The various direct assistance provided to the household in this budget will not only ease the burden on the struggling Fijian but assist them to prepare for the future. The use of such human-centric policies measures the influence of the behavior of consumers and business are welcome. To create an enabling environment for economic recovery and employment creation, the budget will enhance critical infrastructure in roads, where the proposed Viti-Levu interior highway will create far greater social mobility and a huge opportunity for commercial, industrial, and tourism expansion in the island of Viti-Levu. Mr. Speaker said the level of physical support in response to the pandemic and inflation has been considerably significant, both in scale and relevance. This government has acted quickly to buffer household and business balance sheet during the stringent period of social and economic restrictions. Mr. Speaker said, Fiji's economy demonstrated remarkable resilience to COVID-19 shock in 2020 and staged a strong recovery in the first half of 2022. Following the ease of COVID-19 restriction, reopening of the borders as well as targeted stimulus intervention by this government, the economy is estimated to expand by 12.4% this year, a much stronger level from the contraction of 4.1% in 2021. However, the economic outlook may be affected by the emerging domestic and external risk. On the domestic front, re-emergence of COVID-19 variants and possible adverse weather conditions can affect the projected economic recovery. On the external front, the ongoing conflict in the Eastern Europe is creating uncertainties and can further affect the global economic outlook through disruption of supply chain, rising global oil prices, rise in food prices, and increased inflationary pressures. The FijiFirst government is committed to monitor all the domestic and external risks and take appropriate policy actions to navigate the economy through the emerging risk. Furthermore, Mr. Speaker said, our sustained investment in recent years have significantly transformed our economy and strengthened our resilience. Encouraged by this, our economy has bounced back, giving our people incredible optimism even in situations of extreme challenges. Mr. Speaker said, considering the enterprise development agenda highlighted in this budget, this government has carefully balanced the difficult choices in resource allocation in order to finance the highest priorities that will propel this country to greater heights of prosperity. I am confident that we have made the right decision and will accelerate the pace of our economic growth. Mr. Speaker said, this 3.8 billion people-centered Bula Boom budget with strong social policies by FijiFirst government will ensure the people in our communities receive what they need and will open up great opportunities for all Fijians. Honourable Speaker, I would like to take this time to extend my appreciation to the Permanent Secretary for Ministry of Economy, Mr. Shri Gounder and his team. Mr. Gounder was appointed as PS when we had the biggest contraction in Fiji's economy. Mr. PS, you have really showed your leadership for past 2 years in assisting Honourable Minister for Economy that has allowed Fiji's economy bounce back stronger. Fighting with COVID-19 pandemic and reduced revenue, but still keeping the economy afloat would not have been easy, and we salute the team at Ministry of Economy. Mr. Speaker said, I thank this August Parliament for the privilege to speak, and I fully support the motion to approve the 2022-2023 national budget. Thank you, Binaka Bakalevu.